let me just say this. Dumping that contract is going to be one of the most important things the Eagles do. If they can actually get it done, I'd be amazed. And the rumors for Bryce Huff are starting to come through. Take it with a grain of salt, obviously. And we have a veteran defensive tackle as a potential target for the Eagles in free agency. Probably not one that we're going to really want that much. I'd rather just go draft. But we'll see how it goes. We're here to talk about both of those things. And, yeah, let's get straight into it.
A killer buried, but not dead.
Darren, we better turn around. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. This video is sponsored by BetUS. Go check them out if you guys have not. So this might probably be a short one because we are still waiting on some things to happen here with this roster. Like, I don't think things are done yet. I think they're far from done yet. And they're really the first thing to talk about is we actually got rumors. Now, take these rumors with a grain of salt. Don't go crazy about it because I really don't know how real this is. Okay, but it seems like the Lions have called the Eagles about possibly trading for Bryce Huff, and I think the Lions want to keep Bryce Huff as a depth signing. Okay, now the thing about this whole entire thing we've been talking about with Bryce Huff is his contract. Okay, so if you try to trade him post-June, which looks like the Eagles are going to have to do that, the Eagles could save about $5 million. But the issue is with this contract, it's not even just this year. Okay, 26, he's 11.7 against the cap. 27, he's 27.5. So, yeah, I mean, those numbers are absolutely insane. So the Eagles are going to have to take a hit. I mean, this trade isn't tradable unless the Eagles pay off some of this salary. Okay, they're going to have to. I don't think that a team is just going to take on this entire contract, especially if there's other teams that want to trade for him but don't see him as a prime 3-down edge rusher, which we all know he's not that. Okay, and I know there's some Eagle fans that are saying, well, why don't we just keep him, put him in another offseason program? But honestly, I like getting Ojulari at 1 year, $4 million. I like getting, Joshua Uche at a low cost, high rewards. You know, we go back to when we traded for Bryce Huff. We had no idea what was going to happen with Nolan Smith at the time. And Hassan Reddick was traded for a bag of potato chips, okay, for a third-round conditional in 2026. That is now a third-round pick. And I don't think Fangio even wanted Bryce Huff. I think this was purely Howie Roseman going out there saying, we got to pay somebody. We have to go get somebody in the building. And the guy that's coming off a deep rotation with the Jets, 10-sack season, his only first 10-sack season. But you know what I didn't really like about Bryce Huff? I didn't like his attitude, finding out at the interview at the end of the year that he was just, he was mad at himself for not producing, and he started getting in his own head at the end of the year. And that's the last thing you need to do, especially as a guy getting paid to be the guy. You're getting paid to be the man on the defensive line, and you're having issues of how the fans are treating you and that's just a red flag in my opinion. That's just a big red flag that I just can't sit here and be comfortable. If he's mentally soft, get the hell out of Philadelphia. I mean, I'm not trying to throw any shade at this guy or anything like that. He's a guy that got paid. I can't blame the player. I got to blame the GM that gave him this money. But like I said, at that moment when we signed him, Reddick had to be traded. He was going to hold out. The Eagles want to rip the Band-Aid and kind of say, hey, let's just get, we're not going to deal with this holdout. We're not going to win. And Reddick really left for no apparent reason. He literally left for no reason at this point. Okay. And Nolan Smith, we didn't know what was going to happen with him. Okay, Jalix Hunt. And, I think there's some really good pieces going into this 25 season. But Bryce Huff, just to keep him around, let's just keep him around. No, man, not those numbers. You're not going to keep him around. So how do you get this done? I look, if Howie dumps this contract 100% on another team's lap, I will congratulate Howie Roseman for even trying to get that done and getting it done. Okay. But I just feel like the Eagles are they're gonna have to play fair and say, hey, what if the Lions want Bryce Huff? They'll give us some late round draft picks, maybe one late draft choice this year for this year, 26, 27. I don't even care what it is. But I feel like the Eagles are going to they're going to have to eat up some of this money, unfortunately, or something like that. So I don't know what's going to happen with Bryce Huff, but I feel like this move might not happen now. This move could happen after June. It could happen July. It could happen by OTAs. It could happen by training camp. Realistically, I think that this move is going to happen, but it's going to take some time. Maybe he's a draft day trade. I have no idea. Maybe he's draft bait. We'll find out what happens, but it's a little concerning. It's a little concerning just to try to move him for just a bad contract. We don't really complain about Howie Roseman and the things that he's done, especially drafting free agents. And this is just one of the big misses, and it happens. You know what I mean? I can't really blame him. I mean, he was in panic mode. He had to sign somebody when he felt like we kind of had nothing at that point and want somebody proven with proven statistics from a year ago. It obviously hasn't worked out. And if you don't even play this guy in a Super Bowl and he's a healthy scratch, and you rather play a 37-year-old edge rusher and Brandon Graham over him, that really shows how they really feel about Bryce Huff. And there was always those rumors of him not playing in that Super Bowl leading up to it, and it became true. So we'll see what happens with Bryce Huff. Let me know what you guys think about that news. And we're going to be going over some other news as well. Okay, Calais Campbell, 38 years old. I've never been so against a move. I have no issue in getting depth on this team. I have no issue with it, okay? Calais Campbell, dude, I'd rather re-sign Brandon Graham right now at 37, okay, than go get Calais Campbell at 38. Because if the Eagles didn't win a Super Bowl this past year, I think Brandon Graham would have came back to have one more run, and it probably would have happened. But he went off in the sunset. That's perfectly fine, and, a fantastic 15-year career for Brandon Graham, okay? But Calais Campbell, though, to put another guy in this, I don't even know if this guy even has juice. There's already news coming out that the Eagles, that Calais Campbell will be a potential candidate for a big signing for the Eagles. I mean, he's going to be cheap. I mean, what is he going to cost? He's not going to cost much. I mean, I'd rather go into this draft as of right now and say, hey, let's go get Walter Nolan. I mean, if you want to go after DT and they have interest there, then I would just do that. I mean, at least you'll have him for 4 years with a fifth-year option or a day 2 pick, whatever it's going to be for Walter Nolan. But there's plenty of DTs in this draft. Whether I think that DTs and edge rushers will go early between the late teens to the early 20s, because the Eagles can have the pick of the litter at safety if they don't sign a bridge guy. But DT could be a big possibility as well, on top of having Carter and Jordan Davis. And you're going to have to pay Jordan Davis after this year, so drafting a DT might make a lot of sense if they don't want to pay Jordan Davis a specific amount of money, especially if he plays really well this year. Thomas Booker's still young, flashing, but still young. And Moro Jomo is ready to step up at that Milton Williams role. But do they have a lot of faith in Thomas Booker in that second rotation? Byron Young is obviously a big one for the Eagles. He was a DT from Alabama, and he's coming into camp for the first time for the Eagles to see what he could do. So I think there's a lot of excitement with the DT position, but I just don't think that, unless it's like last resort after the draft and they feel like they just want to add him for some reason, I guess it's okay. But for right now, to sign him right now and say, okay, DT is perfectly fine, we don't want to hit this position, I think you always want to keep your options open when it comes to this position. Because for some reason, deep in my mind, I feel like DT is somewhat of a need, and not because they need someone desperately, because I feel like DT is in the cards in this draft in the first couple rounds. I really do. Whether it's day 1 or it's going to be day 2. I feel like it's there and it's staring us right in the face. So I think we have to be patient with this. So I wouldn't go out and sign Calais Campbell. And and realistically, I don't know what his stats were last year. Probably weren't I know he wants to play for contenders. A lot of ring chasers out there right now. Okay, and he's definitely one that's gonna want to end, with the ringer or with a ring on his finger, and try to do something there. So I don't know where this is gonna go, but I guess we'll find out in the meantime. Let me know what you guys think about Calais Campbell coming to the Philadelphia Eagles. If DT is a big prospect in this draft, and obviously Bryce Huff's contract. What's going to happen here with this? I mean, Howie Roseman's got to be extra careful in the future now. Like, we got to figure this out and make sure we're not. I understand this was a panic move. I get it, but, we have to make things right. And keeping him on the roster at his number, I don't even think it's worth it, to be honest. I really don't. Because edge rusher, they've been at the low cost, high reward type moves. And we'll see what happens. So, other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more Eagles news every single day. And make sure you like this video because it helps out tremendously. Love you all. Appreciate everybody. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes one up, follow us. Peace out, guys. Peace.